Simu Liu protects bubble tea from white people. Russell Brand protects you from the 5G. And a new exclusive every single week when you support The Habit at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. To say that the 2024 US election has been full of hilariously absurd moments would be like saying that water is wet, in that it should be an obvious statement, but would absolutely be met with some people going, "Oh, that's not actually true, you don't know what you're talking about." Ever since people started treating politicians like teenagers treat boy bands, we've kind of lost the ability to just laugh at how dumb this shit is. You can't make fun of Trump's insane rambling at the debate about people eating cats and dogs, because if you do, you're a filthy commie lib. And you can't make fun of Kamala's convenient accent changes, code switching, because if you do, you're a racist Nazi. Gone are the days where everyone on both sides enjoyed a laugh at Clinton getting his knob shined in the Oval Office, at Dan Quayle not being able to spell potato, or at Ross Perot for being Ross Perot. Because now, you see, the stakes are just too high for that. If Trump wins, his family will rule for 3 decades and America will end, says some guy with an eagle and a blue check. But if Trump loses, a man who calls himself kitty shit willingly says, the USA is done. So, hey, a little unity here. Everyone agrees that no matter what happens, you're fucked. But man, as an adult, I've been through 6 of these. Each one supposedly the most important election of all time. Of course it is. No one who's alive right now, dealing with the problems of right now, is gonna be like, oh, you know what was the most important presidential election? Lincoln versus Breckinridge. And at the same time, no one's ever actually like, actually, this year's election doesn't matter. We're not even preempting regular TV for this shit. Seriously, not even in 2004. Of course this election is the most important to you, and the next one will be more important than this one, and so on. So, I'm posting this video before the election. By the time you watch it, either the election hasn't happened yet, or there will be a new president. But I wanted to enjoy a laugh at all the moments that got us here in the first place, and maybe give you a little Buckley-style hope at the end. But first, this thing was supposed to be Biden versus Trump 2, Clash of the Codgers. But Biden stumbling around everywhere and staring off into space at events over the last year meant the Democrats were one step away from taking him out back for the old Yeller special. No, Pa, he's my president. I'll do it. And Kamala took his place. I love that she's the young candidate. Kamala is 60 fucking years old. I know our young leader hasn't been so great here. Trudeau took office in his early 40s, but can you guys please elect a president who's not a fucking regular Metamucil customer? Anyway, she wants you to think she's young, having Megan Thee Stallion and Quavo at a rally, or going on Wired's autocomplete series. We're seriously an election away from the candidates appearing on an episode of Hot Ones. Maybe Sean Evans can moderate a debate where they have to eat a fucking wing if they interrupt or go over time. That might actually be less absurd than Trump's campaign stops, which included appearances on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast and a podcast hosted by The Undertaker. Yes, the former WWE wrestler who spent several decades playing a zombie man who feels no pain. His storyline brother Kane, played by Glenn Jacobs, joined them. Glenn is currently the mayor of some county in Tennessee. Like, I guess this is how you reach the common people now, right? This is the equivalent of when Clinton went on Arsenio Hall and everyone was like, the guy running for president is on a late-night talk show? What? He's playing the saxophone? This is crazy! Now you got Kamala Harris showing up on a YouTube channel that's had Iggy Azalea in the cast of The Boys, and Trump being interviewed by a guy who used to play fight while wearing purple dishwashing gloves, and a dude who tased dead rats. The fact that that's politics now, and people think this shit should ever be taken seriously, boggles my fucking mind. Oh, and let's talk about the running mates. On the left, you got Tim Walz, a man who looks like everyone's grade 8 math teacher. The funniest Tim Walz story of the campaign is that, according to a former student of his interviewed by the New York Times, Timbo told his class that his wife once took away his Sega Dreamcast because he'd been playing it too much. This led further down a rabbit hole to someone claiming they owned said Dreamcast, which came with a copy of Sonic Adventures, as well as a campaign intern who claimed that he might have talked about playing Crazy Taxi a lot. So, if someone ever went up to Tim Walz and went, yeah, would he respond, "Take me to the KFC," or would he just have them quietly escorted away? Well, we get the answer in yet another, so this is politics now, moment. He plays Crazy Taxi on a stream with AOC. Not very well, he blows right through the first drop point like a fucking amateur, but perhaps this secured the vote of the 4 dudes who are excited about the re-release of Power Stone next year. On the right, you have JD Vance, a man who has been accused of wearing eyeliner, which, I don't know. And maybe the first candidate to graduate high school in the early 2000s, which means he has to worry about his embarrassing MySpace photos resurfacing. This one went viral of him from high school, posing in a boy's bathroom with 3 girls pretending to use the urinal. Ho-ho! Now he'd be posing with they-thems using the kitty litter they put in there. But anyway, his funniest moment of the campaign? Obviously the donut shop thing. If you never saw that, he was doing the stereotypical campaign, let's talk to the local rubes stop, where he goes to a donut shop. Only problem is, I don't think he's ever bought a dozen donuts in his lifetime. So after making very awkward small talk where he just responds with, "Oh, okay, good," every time someone answers one of his questions about how long they've worked there, he asks for
just everything. Yeah, I mean, a lot of glazed here, some sprinkle stuff, some of these cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense.
Just whatever makes sense. No one has ever ordered donuts like that, JD. Yes, hello, I am a human man. Please put whatever makes sense into this box so that I may distribute them amongst my other fellow humans, upon which they will masticate. But you know who's very comfortable in a fast food setting? The big man himself, Donnie Hamburgers. Trump did a little campaign stunt at a McDonald's where he put on the apron and worked the fryer, where he was so excited to find out that McDonald's employees have a tool to put the fries in the boxes. He thought they just grabbed them with their bare hands and shoved them in. He was so thrilled by this, he had to tell the press about it after.
But you know what? It's beautiful. It's clean. It's really nice. You never touch them. I always figured somebody stuffs them in with their hand, and I don't like that. And they don't do it that way. You never touch them. It's really great.
The whole stunt was trademark petty nonsense from Trump to shit on the claim from Kamala that she worked at a McDonald's despite not having any proof. He says,
I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
Are you going to put this on your resume?
I never worked here.
A lot of effort for that joke. But it's also a great setup because no one can make fun of it. If the left goes, finally a job you're qualified for, or, hey, maybe you can work there when you lose, you make it sound like McDonald's is a joke job and you don't respect it or the people who do it, when supposedly 1 in 8 Americans have worked there at one time or another. It just makes you look out of touch with regular people, the thing that the left claims about the right. But yes, I get there are real issues people are concerned about, and that, fear-mongering about the state of democracy aside, you have real concerns about what could happen if your side doesn't win. And you're gonna tell me all those in the comments section and tell me why I'm fucking wrong. But your life will not change on November 6th. It won't be different December 6th. It won't be different in 2025. I'm not saying it doesn't matter who wins. What I am saying is that no matter who wins, half the country is gonna have to live with not getting what they want. And I think the best way to do that is to not freak out over the worst case scenarios that Twitter has told you will happen. Hell, for the last 6 months, no one even really knows what the fuck Biden's been doing. And Trump spent 1 in 3 days in office at one of his resorts, and reportedly never paid attention during briefings. You want to know who runs the USA, or who runs every country in general? You. Always has been you. You get up every day and you go to work, you get your mail and your trash gets collected, and you eat and drink clean water and shit and have pipes that take that shit away from your house because other people go to work. You spend time with your family and friends, volunteer in the communities you live in. The world runs because people run it, not some fuckface in a room in DC, or the several hundred douchebags in their daily fucking circle jerk. None of these people can do anything that will destroy free elections, nor are they competent enough to do so. You can blame the current administration for high gas and grocery prices all you want, but during Bush's presidency, gas prices were higher at times, and grocery prices have skyrocketed everywhere in the world. Yeah, even places where Biden's not president. Well, amazingly, so have grocery store profits. You're blaming the wrong rich people, my friends. Trump winning isn't going to bring the price of eggs down 50% or solve homelessness or crime. At the same time, Kamala winning won't solve gun violence or usher in socialized medicine or have kids being transed in schools. Neither will destroy America as we know it. But hey, if I'm wrong, if whoever gets elected ushers in an age of fascism or the Great Depression, the great news for me is, under fascism, I'll be arrested for speaking against whoever's dear leader, and in a Great Depression scenario, I won't be able to afford the internet or shelter. So in either scenario, you won't be able to tell me how wrong I was. Unless we both end up in the same internment camp or tent city. In that case, tell you what, you can have my government-issued food ration or rat cooked over a trash can fire. My way of saying sorry, I was wrong.